Sean, congratulations. You get approval over in the UK for the vaccine. How much can you distribute in the fourth quarter, well, in December, I should say, and then the first quarter of next year?
Yeah, so what we've publicly disclosed is that for all countries, we're producing and will have ready up to 50 million doses this year. And we will be sticking to that target and should be able to provide up to 50 million this year. Going into next year, including the 50 million from this year, we anticipate 1.3 billion in total. I don't think we've disclosed what we're going to be providing in the first half, but what I can say is, of course, we're ramping up production extremely quickly so that we can get the vaccine to everyone as quickly as possible.
Sean, just picking up on that point, do you see yourself bringing in more capacity? Are you negotiating for more capacity with others? Can you give us an idea of kind of how those conversations are going if they are taking place?
I mean, I think what you might have noticed is from the BioNTech network, we've added a factory which we bought from Novartis, completing in October, and we're bringing that up to speed. That once it gets into steady state, we expect that to produce 750 million doses per year. Pfizer at the same time are bringing up their manufacturing as quickly as possible, both in the United States and, of course, here in Europe, where we'll be serving the UK very, very, very shortly. And we anticipate adding capacity, further capacity next year as needed. We're also supplying, of course, Fosun in China, which is our other partner for China, and they also have plans for manufacturing too.
What seemed left out there are other European countries like Germany, for example. Are you negotiating with any other European countries right now about distribution?
No, we've done all negotiations through the European Commission representing all of the states in Europe. The only one where we have been separately negotiated was the United Kingdom.
Talking of the United Kingdom, can you walk me through what your expectations are for the UK to be able to deliver a seamless distribution? Where do you worry? Where do you see the challenges? You guys have put a lot of work in to get this ready quickly. The UK has now cleared it. Can you just give us your visibility on the challenge of getting it into people's arms?
Yeah, I mean, there's a National Health Service distribution plan, and I think that's really for the government to comment on. I mean, from our perspective, what we're doing together with in the United Kingdom, our marketing and distribution partner Pfizer is making sure we do get the vaccine to everyone quickly. And in terms of distribution, I mean, when you receive this vaccine, it really is, you roll up your sleeve, you get an injection in your arm of this vaccine, and then you wait a few minutes, as is customary, to make sure that there are no side effects that wouldn't be expected, and then you go home. And it's pretty much like getting the flu vaccine.
Well, let's talk about the different types of mutations. You guys mentioned during the press conference that you were able to test 10 mutations. We were interested in knowing which ones specifically you tested. There is a lot of concern of the N439K mutation. That is the most troublesome one. It also is not responding to the Regeneron antibodies. So can you give us some insight into the risks?
Yeah, so I mean, what we of course have vaccine against the spike protein itself, which is of course highly conserved. Having said that, we have tested in these 10 mutations, and so far our vaccine has been effective. People do ask us about that. So far, we see no alarm bells at all.
As effective or effective?
Obviously we haven't tested in the population to the extent that you can statistically say and compare one to the other on effectiveness scale, but we see the appropriate immune response that we would expect.
Let's talk a little bit about price. You indicated earlier that it was $19.50 a dose, and we're kind of looking at that as maybe a benchmark price for all vaccines. If you need to ramp up faster, other countries are going to be coming to you. There's still uncertainty about the AstraZeneca vaccine. Does that price need to go up? What do you see happening?
Well, I think you have to look at this in two phases. The first phase is a pandemic phase where we're trying to get all of the at-risk patients or subjects, or as many of them as possible, vaccinated quickly, and that requires a mass vaccination strategy. And then we move into a second phase, which is more ordinary course of business. And once you receive the more ordinary course of business phase, which would be a fully licensed product, and then, of course, we go through the normal channels for renegotiation of price. But so far, we've disclosed the $19.50 per dose in the United States for the first 100 million, and that is a pandemic price.